you know. So we have a long way to go. It's like the comment on Portugal. Much more love in Portugal. Much more. Some countries have a lot more love between the government and the police department and the people, understanding that we're all one. You see it in New York. We arrested all these people. We're going to arrest you. We're going to arrest you. That's that same thing in Vietnam. Same thing in Kent State. Let me tell you, our own military and our own police department would kill us. And so we're very heavily armed people. And so the clash in America is going to be much more intense, I think, than rock throwers in some of these other countries. But still, Lion Man, not to take away from the noun spirituality and all of that, but we need that love here, and we have to look at that in terms of cells and memories and regeneration and everything else. And so the emotional component of life is the adrenals, and a lot of you that are born, spiritual people are born, and also all the creative people, all the musicians we have, all have adrenals. But it brings that love principle in. It brings that softness, that romance, that love side of life in. Without that, the mind is very cut, dried, calculus, that sort of thing. But that's what it's here for. And that's why there's another body there, the emotions, that temper that. A good example, I've always said, an intellectual doesn't like to go to the beach and stay there very long. But you get someone with weak adrenals, they'll sit there and enjoy the ecstasy of the calmness and peacefulness of water, and then the eternity that it looks out over. It's just all about where you're from in terms of intellectually dominant or emotionally dominant. So absolutely you were gifted. I visited California in '09. I was feeling tingling all throughout my body. The bottom of my feet were sore and hot. Well, that's acid. That's acidosis right there. But interesting that's the nerve endings that circulate all through your body. So you could be on fire all through your lymph system. And going with the autism, that's weak adrenals. Could be some CNS as well. But we were looking at this, and you also see the kidney connection here. You see that nervous system there. My left side, the area near my back, just below my ribs, was feeling pressure in it. Wonder what that is. By feeling pressure and tingling in my sides, I can tell an earthquake is likely to happen. About an hour or two later, a magnitude 4.6. Pretty cool, sensitive person, eh? I was also feeling pressure in my left side and a lot of energy all the way from Tennessee before the magnitude. That's pretty good, Japan earthquake. What do you think of this? I think you're one beautiful woman, a very sensitive lady. But get yourself healthy, honey. Get the nervous system strong and stuff, and keep the intuitiveness and the sensitivity with it. And then you can use that as a great gift. And you're a gift to just looking at you. Pretty woman. Magical hummingbird. Thanks for that comment, sweetheart. Today, I appreciate that. There's a reality out there it's hard, and we have never ever in my life been there to sell. And without that, though, for those that are wanting to be practitioners, this is why we offer, a distributor level and a wholesale level. Because if you don't use product, particularly in the herbs, your successes are real low. And two, when you got some good product that you can use to help, some tools, I call them, to help, then it'll help you to survive. Because if I had to survive on my counseling fees, you see how many people don't show, and it's up and down, and I have to give a lot away, and it's just, and a staff, you've got a building, you've got all kinds of expenses. There's no way you'd be in business just counseling people. I couldn't do it, and run a staff and help you and give you free advice over the phone when you call. Impossible. It's just literally impossible. So when you look at the price of things and you realize the cost of things, we used to be our own herb company. We're not anymore because we couldn't handle it. So we have to pay more. So people just don't understand what's involved here when you run something like this. It's just amazing, the cost factors and everything else. So I thought we were doing pretty good, to tell you the truth. We can't do much better than what we're doing now. So, love the comment. Love you, honey. Do our best. You would know if I was a capitalist. Hi, Dr. Morse. Let's see. Oh, you were asking me about Bass here. I think it was. Let's see. Let's see. I've been reading up on Dr. Stanley Bass. Yeah. Wacko. Sorry. You know, a lot of people, they're entitled to their own opinions. I think you have to take a lot of things in consideration, and I've tried to cover those things. I advocate man as a frugivore, which he is, and I'm not the only one. National Geographic, I mean, you can go on down the line. Most of the higher aware anthropologists and the like agree that man is a frugivore. Now, man has been acting like worse than an omnivore. I mean, worse than an omnivore. But when you really examine omnivores, you don't find a lot of similarities between humans in their body design. And this is also true with all the other creatures. I mean, we fit right into primates, and primates are not omnivores. So, and that, you know, but we have all these different levels of consciousness, and we live in all these different places with all different environments and things like that. I had to do 5 theses for my naturopathic school. 5 theses. So I had a tough school, but I loved my school. I think it's closed down now, but I loved it at the time. And so I had 5 theses to do, and one of them I did was on the geographical location of proteins and minerals and things to show you that as a frugivore species and in the tropics and the acid and the alkaline issues of the environment and in the foods, but then as we went up north we got more minerals, we got more proteins in the foods. Look at the difference between, let's say, a pecan in terms of the protein and fat content and that of a walnut, which is further up north. Big difference. And then you see the climate changes, and you see when they're in season, and you see all the needs that you have. So it is much more difficult when you live in these northern climates to go fruitarian, to go raw, just because of the impact of the high alkaline cold weather and things like that on you. I understand all those things. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm dealing with a frugivore species in a hostile environment where I need to detoxify them, get the tumors out and clean the body up and all that. It doesn't change. And so we have to work through whatever we can. So Bass is entitled to his thinking, but I'll tell you, I think the way I think. I think I've proved in 40 years the clinical, through clinical work on all of you guys, and you read your comments and you're shining through like light bulbs, the difference between detoxing with fruits and vegetables. If you want to detox with vegetables, have at it. I get them all the time from Hippocrates, all the time. And blood looks good, but doesn't do a thing to move tumors out of them, and they're hurting. I've had many, many, many cases from the Hippocrates to show you that. And no offense to them, they're okay for basic stuff. But if you've got serious problems, you're going to want to dig a lot deeper. And I think they're starting to use herbs, and I love that. You know, get away from supplements. That's old school stuff. Some people keep carrying this baggage of old thinking around. And even as old-fashioned as I am, I think I try to be pretty up to date. This comment is, if you fall and do not heal quickly, is that your parathyroid? Yeah, if you injure yourself and you don't heal well, you've got a couple of things to consider. The first one is you're not moving your lymph well, so there's no way to clean that area. Blood doesn't clean an area. Your lymph is the cleaning system. The lymph is the sewer system. Everything dumps into the sewer system. So the more stagnant your lymph system is, the more difficult it is for your body to clean itself. And then that allows for healing. Blood brings in the healing, but if you're sitting there holding acids in an area, there's only so much blood can do, because acids tend to be stronger than base. So they're so corrosive and aggressive. That's why they're on the lower side of the dominance of chemistry. The dominance of chemistry on this planet is a base chemistry planet. If it was an acid chemistry planet, we would not be here. I think Mars is an acid chemistry planet. You can't live in an acid environment without suiting up and having a lot of protection, because you just can't do it. Look at what's happening just with our pollution now, making acid air. Just take a look around. All you have to do is look at all the mutation in the animal world, in the lakes, from the fish, just from falling of these acids into the waters. I mean, just look around. We're in serious trouble, but no one cares. You know, this is all about money And we don't want to hurt. George Bush was bad about it. Oh, we don't want to affect the bottom line of these companies. It's about money. No, it isn't. It's about the health and well-being of the creatures that have to live on this planet. It's about the survival of the planet. So it's kind of like in an airplane. If it's going down, put oxygen on you first and then your kids. In other words, that which is important first needs to survive first, and then everything survive around that. Or if the planet doesn't survive, no one survives. I don't care, and then no one makes money. I mean, it's just ridiculous thinking of people that are constipated. Your mom fell and hit her chin and has been so tender for 3 months. Get her lymph system moving, sweetheart, and get her kidneys and adrenals up. I'll give her more steroids, more anti-inflammatory power. At the same time, you're moving lymph more aggressively. And then, yes, pop up on the parathyroid, particularly if you see bruising easy, more skeletal weakness, connective tissue weakness. Absolutely. It doesn't hurt to pop the parathyroid up temporarily and go after it that way. Use a Bones formula. We have a Bones formula with comfrey and horsetail and the like. Real powerful healing herbs. What are the best fruits to get the lymph system moving for detox? I think the most powerful fruits are going to be your acid category, like your lemons, your limes, your oranges, your grapefruit. I think your subacid category is beautiful. Apples are beautiful. Grapes, certainly. That's why I push grapes. I've always felt grapes and lemons really sit kind of high on the category. For me, oranges are just incredible if they're organic and ripe picked. Grapefruit, certainly powerful detoxifiers. Watermelon is a great detoxifier. When you get into your sweet fruits like your bananas, your dates, and your figs, no, not good detoxifiers. Great food, but just not great detoxifiers. Subacid and acid categories, the best by far. Peaches, pears, things like this. Even your acid categories, real powerful, but you want them raw, you want them ripe. Again, pineapple, pick them right off a plant, or I'd pass them up. You can't take a green pineapple and make it ripe. It's just not going to happen. They'll ferment on you, and it'll still be acidic. Thanks for the question, the kid, the man. Now this is disc herniation. Let me see here. She has two-part question here. Music. I like how you guys use your word. Ooh, I like that. The utmost love and regard to you too, my dear. Let me see here. My friend has been suffering from constant pain in the left side of his body from the neck all the way to the foot. Sometimes keeps getting better or worse, and worse. His MRI shows disc herniation at C4, C5. The interesting thing is that there's a lot of inflammation and pain in his chest, left side, as well as the doctor has been able to identify the cause of the link between the two. Or doctor has not been able. Let me see. The body's nothing but cells and two major fluids. These two major fluids do circulate through the body. What's the link? You know, this is the lymph system, no question about that. What herniates a disc? What breaks down tissue? What inflames? What expands? That's acidosis. Acidosis dehydrates, breaks down, rubs calcium out, swells, dehydrates. And it would be obvious. This is left side. This is left kidney weakness. His left kidney, adrenals. You can't just work on one kidney, but obviously his left kidney is more in trouble, or she, whichever. And this is important. You have to get the kidneys fixed and drain this lymph down out of this neck and down out of this area, because in time it'll affect the head area and the equilibrium and all that implies, from glaucoma to all these things like that.